Due to an increase in expenditures, Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer NIO reported a large quarterly loss on Thursday. So how will this affect the stock and should you buy? Sit tight as we answer that by going through recent news as well as my chart analysis and price prediction. But before we do that, subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for regular stock market updates. As its ED5 sedan first enters dealerships in large volume, NIO stated it anticipates the current quarter to show a strong rise in revenue. In the current quarter, the company anticipates delivering between 43,000 and 48,000 automobiles, which would be an increase of around 50% from 31,607 in the third quarter. Founder and CEO William Lee stated that the company has been closely collaborating with supply chain partners to accelerate manufacturing and delivery schedules for the vehicle. According to Chief Financial Officer Stephen Wei Fang, the market situation is difficult, but the company has achieved strong top-line growth. In our opinion, the company has seen some bad times, and as the inflation growth slows down, the stock should recover. With all that in mind, let's analyze the charts. So as you guys can see right here, we're now in the 1-day chart for NIO, and as always, we'll first analyze the 1-day chart, then the 1-hour chart, and to end it off, we'll get in the 5-minute chart. But right off the bat, first up, ignore this line. I don't know why I drew it. Now over here, we can see that we're in a gap up of about 4%, I believe. Yep, 3.83%, pretty much 4%. And this is a bit odd considering the fact that we just got a really negative earnings report yesterday. Right, we can see that we got a negative 82% surprise, and of course not that big of a problem on the revenue part, but definitely the earnings surprise was a problem. Now if we look over here, we can already see that we're pretty much on the brink of this $10.8 resistance level on the pre-market itself, which again, as I already told you, is rather weird. Now there are two scenarios that I believe can pop out over here. First up, of course, I am bearish on the stock in the short term because this definitely, is a fake, or I won't exactly call it fake, but it's just, not something that's justifiable considering the fact that we got a really negative earnings report, right? So of course it is supposed to go down, and this candle over here is a negative pin bar in itself, even though it's green, right? So it's pointing towards the downside with a bigger wick on the upper side than, the wick on the lower side. So with that, of course, the thing that I believe is going to happen, the scenario that I believe is going to play out is probably that we'll go up a bit for some time, probably hit either $11, but I don't really think the stock will fall down that quickly. So of course we have $11 first, then we have pretty much $11.4. It will hit either of these resistance levels, and then I believe that we'll probably, come down crashing. But of course, there are a few more things to consider over here. First up, we might just start the day with a negative candle in itself and then get resisted at 10.8 or 11, right? And then we might continue the fall. But I do believe that Friday is not exactly going to be a bullish day. Now, again, there is something that I want you to consider over here, and that is that if some news comes out from the Fed about inflation or something like that, that is a different scenario altogether, and it does not affect the technical part of the analysis. So that is pretty much just news, and news might move the stock on the upside as well. I could be wrong about the stock, right? So make sure that you take that into consideration before you trade. And remember that the stock overall is in a bearish trend, and this dip that we got over here might probably not be the exact bottom, right? Of course, Tesla did get to $170, and that is kind of a sign that we did hit a bottom on Tesla at least. I don't see Tesla going below 170. That's like pretty sure, right? I won't get it, I won't call it a 100% sure, but it's probably like, I'm 90% or at least 95% sure on that Tesla won't fall below that price. And so with that logic, has NIO bottomed? Maybe, who knows, right? But in my opinion, the stock should probably head, kind of lower, considering the fact that there are other stocks as well that are still weak, and the Fed simply won't stop until it has completely curbed the recession part. Now, of course, we do have to consider another thing, and that is if inflation numbers slow down, the growth on inflation numbers slows down, that is a positive scenario for the stock market, right? So that probably will boost the market a bit, and that is what I believe happened to all of these stocks, yesterday and even a few days before that. So with that, am I bullish on the stock? Well, there are a few things to consider, of course, right? It is at a good rate if you want to buy, because anything under $11, in my opinion, is good for NIO. And if we look at the market capitalization real quick, let me get this over here. Yup, it's only $13 billion, which is like really low, right? I don't know how to compare it, but it's really low. And if you want to invest in this company, and even if you get out at $20, that would still be almost double of your money. And of course, if we look over here at the pre-market as well, we're already down to $10.73, which is, a bit lower than where we were already at $10.81. So, yep, a bear trend might be in the making, but to analyze that, let's jump on into the 1 hour chart so we can find some details. So now that we're in the 1 hour chart for NIO, over here we have some mixed signals, right? Of course, if we look at the day that the earnings report came out, we did get a few um, pin bar candle over here first up, then inside candles, right? But this showed that, the selling pressure is kind of deteriorating over here. It's declining. And after that, of course, this was a good time to buy and get a small trade. But over here, of course, as you guys can see, we did get a green, well, not exactly a pin bar or an inside candle, right? It's on neither of both of those sides, right? So of course this doesn't indicate much, to be honest, but all we can wish for is that the stock gets into a better buying position, of course, right? And for that, the stock will have to go down. If we look over here, of course, the day before the earnings report, we were already around a price of $9. So even if we get there again, it would be a great opportunity for people who want to make, some quick money. Of course, not financial advice, but you can trade the stock at such times. But of course, to analyze the stock in more detail and to get the pre-market data and aftermarket data, we'll have to jump on into the 5-minute chart. So as you guys can see right here, we're now in the 5-minute chart, and first we'll analyze the pre-market of today's, of course, what is it? Friday. Yep. So we're analyzing Friday's pre-market, and as you guys can see, we did get resisted around $10.93, which is pretty much just the $10.911 resistance zone. Under that, of course, we can see that we made somewhat of a double top, not exactly a double top, around 10.9, of course, 10.87, but it's around 10.9. And we do have pretty much a double bottom base at $10.7. So that seems to be a good support. And we have another one around 10.8, right? Just a small range between $10.8. And we kind of, carried around there for some minutes. So, of course, if we look over here, we've already deteriorated this entire bullish trend and we flipped it over. So I might be right and we actually might be in for a bearish trend once the market opens. But of course, now we'll analyze what happened in the previous day. So we can see that the aftermarket of, or rather the pre-market of 10th November, so this was Thursday, was rather wild and we got a massive gap up, right? We went from a price of pretty much 9.6 to a price of, what is this, 10.3, right? After that, of course, we did crash. We hit a resistance around 10.75, 10.8, which is again a prominent resistance. We did get supported around $10, which is, well, it's psychological. $10.2, $10.4, $10.35, and $10.5 won't be that much of a problem. So if you ask me, we probably will go down a bit, right? If we go down, of course, we might actually reverse things up, go down a bit, take some support, and then go up. But that all depends on the overall market conditions. So if you're trading, make sure that you look at, have two screens open. On one side, there's either the NASDAQ or some big index fund, and on the other side, you should keep your stock open. With that, I'd probably give NIO a hold to buy rating, right? I'm not exactly bearish on it, but I'm just, kind of hoping for a better price to jump in. And with that, of course, remember that this definitely was not financial advice and you should always do your own research before you trade. If, however, you enjoyed my analysis, be sure to hit the like button. If you did not enjoy it, be sure to hit the dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for more such videos. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.